back to another episode of EVTV, where the vibes are always essential and everything is greater than good. Man, this episode is going to be a little bit different. It's just me by myself, but I'm doing this specifically because I had some things I wanted to get off my chest, man, some things that I wanted to talk to y'all about, and just kind of update people on my life, you know. If you didn't know, baby girl is here. You know, I'm a father now. Spoke about it in a couple of my previous episodes with my family. And I just wanted to start off by saying that I am so appreciative of the women in my life, right? Like, me and my wife decided to do the, we decided not to go to the hospital and do more of the holistic labor type deal, where you got the midwife, you got the pool, you're doing stuff like that, and it's more natural, the natural birth, right? And that shit was a beast, okay? People think, oh, it's so beautiful, right? Like, it's just natural. You're not pumping anything into their bodies. It's just kind of how God intended for it to be, right? And I'm not knocking anybody that chooses that, because we did as well. But I want people to understand, like, that shit is super hard, bro. Super hard. And I'm talking from a perspective that I feel like I've done a lot of hard stuff in my life, right? I've done a lot of hard things. But that right there is different, okay? And especially, it was hard specifically for me seeing my wife go through that, right? That pain, those contractions, and it was just non-stop, bro. Like, it don't stop till the baby comes. Once it starts, it doesn't stop until the kid comes, right? So, just a little background on it. We had the baby about a week and a half ago, but my wife went into labor on a Sunday morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 a.m. she started having contractions. And then we didn't have the baby until Tuesday afternoon, bro. Tuesday afternoon. And she went into labor Sunday morning, like at 4 o'clock. Bro, it's like 60 hours of nonstop contractions, nonstop pain. Man, listen, you feel free to, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from doing what they want to do, but I just want people to understand the reality of it is very, very tough. So just going back to me being appreciative of the women in my life. Number one, my wife, she, everything is fine. We had the baby. There was some complications. We had to do some things, had to end up going to the hospital. And they were great, but it's just the way we planned it and pictured it. It's just not how it happened. Right. But, overall, I'm thankful to God for it, for her coming out healthy, for the baby coming out healthy. Everything is good. But, I'm just thankful for her, and I appreciate her for that, I don't think she thought it was going to be like that, right? I don't think any of us thought that it was going to be like that, but I do appreciate her for that, and I'm forever indebted. Also, my mother-in-law, like, we were like her two doulas, me and my mother-in-law, and respect to the doulas. My goodness, respect to the doulas. If you're a doula out there and you are coaching people, and you're a midwife and you coaching these women through these births, and these intense labor pains, power to you, bro, because that is tough. I'm not a hospital person. Like, I couldn't work in a hospital just because I don't like people. I don't like seeing people sick. It's just tough on me to kind of see people hurting and down, right? Like that's not particularly in an environment that I want to be in. So it's tough for me to be in that environment. So for you guys that do that are in healthcare, power to you. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? I think that's tough work. Shout out to my mother-in-law for being there every step of the way. Excuse me. And helping, us get to this point. And then also, last but not least, shout out to my mom for just being on call. She wasn't in the room, but she was always on call, anything we needed. She tried to help us get it out. And there's also a number of other women that helped out, brought us food, brought us drinks, and just, was always there and ready to roll. I wanted to get into something else, right? Like after we had the baby, number one, that was the first hurdle. You have the kid, everything is the pain and the time that it took to get to that point, right? And you see her, she having a baby. This shit is beautiful, right? Baby's healthy. We didn't imagine having it in the hospital under the lights and everything. It's kind of bright, but all in all, baby was healthy. Everything was good, right? So once we had that, I just, I cried tears of joy. I was just so happy that she was, done with the pain for the most part. I wasn't even worried about my kid. I'm like, I want my wife to be all right. Because I figured the kid would be fine, you know what I mean? The whole time the kid was good. I was just wanting my wife to be okay. And she was, so after that, it's beautiful, right? But now it's real. You had a baby and now it's real, right? This little person is here. We stayed a couple nights in the hospital just to make sure everything was good. Make sure the wife was good. Cause we lose a lot of the black women. It's not during the active labor, it's during postpartum, right? So that's when a lot of black women, lose their lives, at a higher rate than a lot of other, ethnicities. So we wanted to make sure everything was good. They took great care of us. So we stayed a couple days and everything was cool. You got a lot of help in the hospital. You got the nurses that come in, lactation specialists help you breastfeed. They do a lot of stuff, but once those couple days pass and now it's the real deal, right? I got the car seat in the ride. We pushing Maya down the floor with the wheelchair and we go into the car. And I'm like, oh shit, it's the real deal. I'm finna put a little person in the back seat, so it's just kind of crazy, man. Like once we took her home, everything was good. She kept us up in the hospital a little bit, but that first night when we got home a couple days later, but when we got home about 3:00 in the afternoon. And then, her parents were staying with us. So we had some help, but that first night, it was just a new environment. She was, in a new place and I could not get her to, and Maya's milk hadn't came in. So she was kind of, she was breastfeeding, but she wasn't getting, the amount that she probably needed, because my milk hadn't came in. So that first night, I'm up with her she crying. I'm just like, damn, bro. I probably been up for like 60 hours or something. Like I probably had 5 hours of sleep in like 5 days. Bro, so I am mentally, like physically drained, and I know I'm tired, so I can only imagine how tired my wife is. I sent my mother-in-law home and I stayed in the hospital. So I can only imagine how tired my wife is, right? But fast forward a little bit. We got home. That first night I'm up with her. She's crying, and these thoughts are just going through my mind. Like, I felt that shit brought me back to my pledging days, bro. It brought me back to pledging the cues, fam. That shit was like a haze. And I might have to bleep that out. But I felt like I was being hazed, bro. I'm like, this is crazy. Why don't you just go to sleep? You know what I mean? I gave you a little bit of milk. Just I'm rocking you. But she is not going. And I am like, I ain't gonna make it. Bro, I am not gonna cross the burning sands because she is not about to let me. It felt like a session, bro, a real deal first night session, bro. I was scared, like, well, I ain't gonna say I was scared. I was just, like, I was anxious, bro. Like, I was worried a little bit, like, man, I don't know if I could do it. Like, doubt crept into my mind, if that makes sense, And I'm not I feel like me personally, I am a person that can control my anxiety pretty well, right? I'm a person that has been through a number of different hard things in my life, right? Which have prepared me to go through certain moments of adversity, certain moments of discomfort, certain moments of uncertainty, right? Whether that be football, pledging, just life in general, whatever, right? I've been through a lot of stuff, so I feel like I have a good background, a good foundation on how to overcome things. But this was tough. This was different, right? It reverted me back to these thoughts and these processes that I've been through, right? And it was different, and I eventually thought, I can come through this, and I will, right? But in that moment, it's a beast. And I just began to think about my wife, right? And I thought about her in that position. I thought about her being me, right? And I'm not there. Like, I'm at work or I'm somewhere else. And I just thought about her, not only her, but I thought about all the women in the world that have kind of been through this, right? That have kind of seen this point of, or been through this point in their life, and postpartum, they just had a baby, whether the father's not there. Number one, if the father's not there, my Lord, I got so much respect for you women, the single mothers. That's tough, that's super tough. But if the father's not there, whether he's, if the father is there or and not present, right? A lot of times the father is in the household, but sometimes he's not present, right? And I just thought about that. The woman, 2-3 weeks out of pregnancy, carrying the baby around, just trying to get him to stop crying, right? You fed her, you rocked her, you tried what it seems like to be everything, and this baby is just uncomfortable. It's just a baby, right? It can't communicate, so it's crying. And it's just like, Lord help me, And I just thought about all the women that have been through that situation. And I just kind of felt bad, I felt like me as a man, it was my job to help my wife not feel like that as much as possible. Now, I don't think I could prevent it in the whole, right? But I could ease, the discomfort, if that makes sense. So I know I'm kind of rambling, but I'm just trying to get these thoughts off, man. It's just been it's been a lot. you know, but the respect, the admiration that I have for women that have went through that, been through that, excuse me, hands down to you guys. Like, y'all are the goats. You know what I mean? Raising kids is no joke. And then that just brings me to my next point. Dog, I'm just like 2 weeks into this thing, fam. Like, I'm a rookie. We rookies. So it's just like, fam, you think people might be, they say, oh, you think it's hard now? I say, what you mean? What you mean? You think it's hard now? Hell yeah, it's hard now. You know, they say, just wait. Nah, don't tell me that. I don't even want to know. I'd rather just, tell me. I lied. You know, but that shit could be discouraging sometimes, bro. Like, when people say, oh man, that ain't even the hardest part, or people, you know, everybody's experiences is different, but, you know, sometimes I feel like I speak to other fathers or other dads, and their experiences is different. A lot of dads, though, and I will say this, shout out to, bro, the community, fam. Like, I ain't never reached out to so many people in my life, right, for advice, for just, like, uplift. Bro, I reached out to so many of the bros that had kids. I reached out to all my partners that had kids. I reached out to everybody I know that had kids, fam. That's like, how you do this? How did you do this right here? How did you get through this, right? You know, because, you know, I hit my partner and I said, man, how the hell? This shit hard. You know what I mean? He said, you only meeting what other men have met, right? You know, that's just a thing with the bros. That's one of the poems we got. But, and he ain't lying, though. You know, so I'm heavy on a community tip these days. Family, friends, just help, right? And it makes sense. I was talking to my mother-in-law. It makes sense just about how kind of screwed up the family dynamic is in America. And I'm kind of ranting and going off topic a little bit, but this is where I'm going involves community. She said she was in Africa. They went to visit Africa. I'm not sure what part, but it was quiet, it was peaceful, it was babies everywhere too, right? But you never really heard a baby crying, is what she was saying. She said she went to Africa, a baby started crying, somebody picked that baby up, somebody comforted that baby, somebody, you know, everybody was looking like, why is that baby crying? Like, this isn't a normal thing, right, in Africa, or in that part of Africa, wherever she was. So when she came back to the States, and she heard, and she was just in different places, maybe the mall or you know, the food court, wherever, and she heard babies crying, she was just like traumatized, like, oh my God, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So many babies crying. But the thing was, in Africa, it was a community, right? You had everybody there that could kind of lean on one another, that could ask for help, that could, you don't even got to ask for help, really, but, you know, you just got the help right there, you know, whereas here, it's tough because a lot of times the dad has to go back to work, right? The grandparents sometimes still working, got to go back to work, you know, so you end up leaving the mom kind of by themselves with the kid, which is tough, bro. Especially at a young age, young age, you know. So I'm heavy on the community tip right now, especially with my parents. They live close. I tell them, bring your asses over here. Like, this ain't, you know, y'all wanted the grandkid. She here now. Let's get it. You know what I mean? I need you over here at least, three times a week at least. Y'all can rotate. I got my aunties over here, pull up. Her parents, pull up. You know what I mean? So I just want people to understand that postpartum is a real thing, right? It's a real thing. And I think it's even real for the men and the husbands, the fathers as well, right? Not to shine a light off of the women, but the men, I think have a brief moment with postpartum as well, right? At least for me, I kind of do, but it's not in terms of the kid. It's just more so worrying for my wife and like, does she have enough help? And I just want to be able to help more, but I got to get this bread at the same time. So it's just it's tough, so I'm leaning heavy on the community tip, but understand postpartum is real, man. For the women that have kids that have gone through this, if you know somebody that's pregnant, if you know somebody that just had a baby, if you got friends that have kids, visit them, right? Call them, check on them, because everything ain't always peaches and cream, you know what I mean? Everything ain't always lovely. This stuff is hard, man. And I can truly say that now because I've been on both sides of the coin, right? I've been on the side where I'm going to see, my partners and my close friends that have kids or my family. And now I'm on the other side. When people say, hey, can we bring you something? Can we do this? Yeah. Hell yeah, you can. Come on. Order, you can bring us food right here. You can do this. You can do that. Man, yes, please. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Like, I'm not, this is not a situation where your pride can kind of keep you from asking for help, bro. Like, asking for help is not a weak thing. That's another thing I kind of wanted to touch on. Asking for help is not a weak thing because I think that's how it's supposed to be. Like I said, I'm heavy on the community tip right now. We need help. Help is always welcome, bro. It's always welcome and it's always appreciated. If you can do something, please. We appreciate it, right? If not, it's all good. Even if you just call or check, text, boom, y'all good? Even if you can't do something, just talk to people, right? Because I think that friendship, that community engagement is very, very important in the development, or maybe not development, but just like the rehabilitation of that couple of new parents, right? To becoming back to themselves and getting comfortable with being parents, being able to lean on people is very important, man. So, I know I was all over the place today, but it's just some thoughts that I wanted to get off, man. And I really wanted people to understand that this is not, I don't think the normal mode of raising kids, like you go to work, well, you had a kid, pops take off for a week, you go back to work, lead the mom at home. I don't think that's like super sustainable, man. I don't think that's how it should be, right? In the world we live in, you got to make bread, so eventually you got to go back to work and make money, unless you have your own business or something like that. But what I'm saying is, I'm heavy on the community tip. I think community is very, very important. They say it takes a village, and I truly believe that. I truly, truly believe that, and I truly feel like I understand that now. So, man, look, reach out, talk to friends, your friends that don't have kids, your friends that got kids. Talk to your people, man. check on them, help them. Help is always welcome. And you guys that have kids or have or are planning to have kids or just going through your everyday life, maybe going through something, right? Help is welcome, bro. Don't let your pride get in the way. Don't let your pride get in the way, man. Ain't nothing wrong with having a little bit of help. And I'm saying this as I feel like I'm a pretty goddamn strong man, you know what I mean? But help is still welcome, bro. Like, I'm not too prideful to say that at all. It don't make me less of a man. It don't make you less of a person either, right? So just understand that, man, and take that, grasp that, hold it, man. And and I always remember, bro, it's gonna be all right. At the end of the day, it's gonna be all good. I always tell myself that. I tell my wife that it's gonna be moments of discomfort. It's gonna be moments of uncertainty. But at the end of the day, the support system you got is great. And I feel like if you build a community of like-minded people, of people that care about you and you care about them, everything's gonna be all right at the end of the day, man. So again, for all you guys that reached out, for all you guys that have hit us up, told us congratulations, man, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you, and we gonna be all right through this journey, man. But I just wanted to come on here and share a couple thoughts and just talk to y'all for a quick second, man. But again, that's episode 4, man. Keep the vibes always essential, man. And everything is greater than good. Peace.